Good.
Oh. You know the CIA is listening to us right now, do you?
The CIA doesn't have access to this.
Yes, it does.
It's
telephones.
blocked.
Through telephones. Alright.
Anyways, the CIA is not listening to us because you know why? Because the CIA is sponsoring us today. Brought to you by CSA.
Central Intelligence
CSI is doing it too. Wow. And
we are sponsored by the Central Intelligence Agency. Keep your phones always on and do not disable the mic option.
that blue light that's on your Samsung TV, that is not them watching you. I repeat, that is not them watching you.
Well, thank you for the CIA for sponsoring this content. And what are we going to talk about today, Lou?
We're going to actually talk about the NSA. Well, first off, how's it going?
Doing good. Happy Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
So I think we're gonna talk about some Netflix shows.
Netflix shows we're drinking on a Irish ale by Boulevard. We don't need to describe Boulevard anymore, except for the fact that they need to sponsor us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're overbooked with MeUndies, but
I think we can have
we can get a sponsor for
Boulevard for sure.
Boulevard. Will fit you in.
I really like this beer. This beer it's an Irish ale.
It's not too strong. It's not light.
No, you can have a couple ones and still be good. I definitely enjoy it. I will give it a good 3 to 4 beers, easy.
I give it 4 as well. I'd agree with that.
So we're gonna talk about the Iron Fist.
Yeah, you know we're huge fans of the Netflix series. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in and discuss Iron Fist and how shitty the Nintendo Switch is. I'm just kidding. We're not going to talk about that.
No. So let's jump in this episode and see if Iron Fist was a flop
or a knockout.
So what's your opinion of Iron Fist? Because I'm almost done with the season, the first season. What's your opinion?
Hell, that smells weird. Hold on.
It's vanilla cream ale.
Tastes like root beer, but not as bad as root beer. That's actually better than... It tastes like root beer.
This is not supposed to be this episode.
Oh, fuck them. They don't care.
Okay.
Hey, stay tuned for the next episode. You'll understand what that meant. Anyways, so I am on... I think I have 20 minutes left of episode 5.
So you're in a good middle. You're in a half.
Yeah.
You're in a good half, and I'm right about the end. So, little story about Iron Fist or Danny Rand. I'll start there. He's been in the comics for a long time. He's been part of the Defenders. There will be a next season. Heroes for Hire. He was with Luke Cage. He's a human being that got trained in martial arts and mystical martial arts, and he became the Iron Fist. He can concentrate his chi in his hands, and basically it makes him almost invulnerable and super strength. So he can break steel doors, punch through things. So he's pretty powerful. In the comics, he's always been this chill surfer dude, like, yeah, man, control your chi, man, sort of calm vibe more than the rich or I will say Netflix show where he's a little bit more
edgy.
He's still more like, I say, hipsterish than...
He's definitely still hipsterish.
But he's more like the typical spiritual California dude in the comics. Same with him. He's also been in the Thunderbolts. He's been partnered with Daredevil, even taking the mantle of Daredevil for a short time in the comics. And, it's his mortal enemy is the Foot. And it's a fun...
You mean the Hand?
Oh, sorry, the Hand. I was gonna mention...
Not the Foot. The Foot is an Australian group because...
The reason why I was gonna mention it and I've had a hiccup is the Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles are in the same world as Daredevil. And one of the main devils of the Daredevil, the same potion or a thing that got Daredevil blind, made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles become Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
How are they part of the same universe? Are they Marvel?
No, they created from the first read the book. It was more or less like a fan thing, more than actual thinking of publishing it. So the enemy of the Ninja Turtles is the foot, and the enemy of Daredevil is the hand. So it's little things like that.
So you're saying that
It was just a little.
if you combine both of them together,
it's the hand and the foot.
Shredder is that?
And Shredder is reference to what's Shredder? What's the main villain of their Shredder? The main the trainer who trained Daredevil. What's his name? What his name was? I think it has something to do with Shredder.
Stick
and.
Stick's the only one that trained.
I think it's Stick and
that's how I know of it.
Well, there's a whole bunch of reference between Daredevil and so the main villain of Iron Fist is the hand. So
yeah, I got to the point I'm on now is he just
you
met up with
now give us before you start saying where you're at. I think it would be a smart idea to tell us a little bit about what Netflix show is about. I'll tell you what the comic book is, and you can tell us what the Netflix is.
Well, Netflix show is about a young lad who came back from a plane accident 15 years later from when his family died, and he tries to get his dad owned 51% of Rand, a major corporation that's in New York City in the show, and he goes back and tries to get his part of the company back, and they think he's a homeless guy or someone crazy. So he has to go through all these trials and tribulations like Jesus. I'm just kidding, not like Jesus, but he has to go through all these trials and tribulations to get back to where he can attempt to get the company back. And in that time, people think he's crazy. They think he's just some homeless dude that's psychotic. So yeah, it's a interesting roller coaster ride. And then once he gets to a point where he might or might not get the company back, then it gets even more interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. And they also said the company had two owners, Brad family and I forgot what the other side. It's all right. So the company is owned by two different families: the Meachams and the Wards. The Meachams, I think, own 49%, I'm supposing, and the Wards was 41%. And yeah, I think you did a good job.
But because of the everyone thinking that Danny's family died, they owned not all shares, but they owned the whole company. And then when he came back, it threatened their family.
I think it was threatening, but I think I'm trying to put myself in that perspective.
You can't just give over 51% to someone if
saying that
billions of dollars.
Yeah, saying, hey, I'm that guy, and they think he really looks like a homeless guy.
I think they were, because should we use this to like an Olympian jump off the high dive and go into the deep with some spoilers?
I think so.
Well, I think I think they could have handled it a little different. They could have maybe discussed, okay, if you are Danny, let's try to find out if you really are him, instead of just instantly going in, I'm going to throw you in the loony bin.
I wouldn't, because the reason why I say I wouldn't is they crashed. It took 15 years. It's not like, it was a couple years later. It was 15 years later.
But they were very defensive.
Of course you have to be defensive. Some weirdo guy, imagine some weirdo guy comes to your house and says, I'm so-and-so.
But they could have just been like, hey, bring me proof. I'm not going to discount.
But he said he couldn't have proof because all his living relatives are dead. He was homeschooled. They said that. I think I understand that your point of trying to say. I just think it's reason they did as good as much as reason to do it, and then because it's gonna be the spoiler, the Meacham dad. It's who's the dad of Ward and Joey Meacham. He controls the son. But I think it's an interesting show. I'm liking it so far.
I like the interesting twist that the Hand brought back the dad.
It's almost like a DC, you know. Like every time that he comes back,
They brought back Boromir's brother.
Faramir.
Yeah, Faramir.
But
Which is really weird.
Is that Faramir?
Yeah,
I didn't even
Faramir.
notice. Oh yeah.
We would take the ring of power to my father.
Oh no, he looked like a little crybaby.
Maybe after this, you'll love me.
He does a great job.
He does. I like him. He's also.
I'm not sure if he's a villain, if he's a hero, if he's you know.
Well, definitely, he's not like Shades, because Shades is definitely a villain. You know, if we're talking the same universe, he definitely kind of is suave like Shades, but Shades is definitely like, I'm going to fucking kill these people. And he is more so, I mean, he killed that guy the guy that punched his daughter with the hand. You know, he put the machete through his head, but he did that out of, you know,
because
revenge.
He's a good father. Yeah. Well,
And
he's not a good father.
Yeah.
He cares about his kids, and I think once you get to more episodes, you will realize what the darkness is in him. You will see why it is. They do explain it.
I'm hoping to watch some more later.
Yeah, it's a good show. I do not understand why there's so much fuss about it.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. If you guys have, by now, I'm sure you guys will have read the reviews. Oh, this show's not that good. This show's like a soap opera with martial arts because of the family business, and it doesn't feel like a soap opera.
Yeah, I like it. I enjoy it a lot. I am enjoying this show quite a bit.
I like it more than Luke Cage. Luke Cage is, don't get us wrong, Luke Cage is not a bad show. It's definitely not Batman vs Superman. But that show was just missing something. The characters in there, the actors were fucking
I think
really
both
good.
of these shows are missing one another.
I agree with that.
Iron Fist is missing the soul, maybe like that New York vibe, more grounded in reality. Because they're still. This is the first show that you more or less can relate. You are not they all are super rich, living real lifestyles of owning billionaire companies and doing super martial arts.
There's not really with Luke Cage, the best part of that show, like we've said before, is the culture behind it. I mean, that was just...
The music was amazing.
The music, it felt, in a sense, it felt warm. Like, you really got... You fell in love with these characters. Iron Fist, I like the characters, but you really... There's no culture. There's not really any...
but I think once...
There's homeless culture.
I think once they join together, that roughness of Luke Cage, of, with the thin and peace of Iron Fist, will do a good mix. I just...
Sweet Christmas.
I don't understand why the whole fuss. I'm liking it. I don't feel it's a soap opera. I feel like it's... it is true that the action scenes are not quite as good as Daredevil. And I agree 100% with that. But there's a few it's hard. Like, not a single show of Marvel has been up to the same fight scenes as Daredevil or The Punisher.
Daredevil season 2 is still the best.
It's not even, it wasn't with Luke Cage.
Jessica Jones.
It wasn't with Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones fell on its face a lot harder with the action because...
But that's happening when you have invincible people. Mm-hmm. It's 2 punches and they're out. If you're Jessica Jones, they can't kill you. They can't shoot you if you're Luke Cage. So I think it's a good show. I think you should give it a try and have an open mind and don't go with it.
It's definitely worth watching. The characters and the actors really do a great job in it.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to give, I love the acting of Tom Pelphrey, who is Ward Misham, the brother.
He does a decent...
He will, in the end of the show, he just loses it. That much pressure breaks him, and you will see that pressure just tearing him apart. And he does a great job.
I want to say I really like Jessica Henwick. She's the martial arts instructor.
Yeah, does a better job in the action sequences than good old Finn Jones.
Yeah. Both of them are from Game of Thrones. If you guys don't know, Finn Jones is Lannister, or no, not Lannister. Yeah,
cousin. Was it cousin?
Marjorie's brother. I can't think of what his name.
The
Lancel Tyrell.
Yeah, Lancel Tyrell.
And
Jessica Henwick is the.
She plays one of the Sand Snakes.
She's the one that has the ponytail on his pretty tight tie. Who has the spear, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's the one who stabs the prince in the face.
Who's a little bit more of like a tomboy in the show, but
she
does a great job.
I really like how her character. She believes. I will say they do have two different cultures, because what Iron Fist believes is Buddhist culture, and they show the Japanese side of it also, because they are two different forms of martial arts.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you there because I don't think you got there. There will be a fight scene, a sword fight scene, with the katana versus the Japanese sword, and they're gonna be both of two girls. They're gonna be the two girls, Jessica Henwick, who is Colleen Wing, versus some Asian lady from the Hand.
Okay.
And the Asian lady with the Hand will have the Chinese sword that has the little. Mm-hmm. What is it called? What would you call that? Like the little ribbon or?
Yeah, and then they can throw it around their wrist and stuff versus the katana that.
Yeah, and they both use that, and it's a pretty cool fight scene just because of the posture.
Yeah.
Like the katana is like a down low upper strike, while this one is more like it's horizontal.
Yeah.
So it's a good fight scene. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're fine.
I just want to make sure we got that culture difference, which is Japanese versus and Chinese too.
I do like that they threw that in there, because a lot of the stuff with TV shows, they don't really have a difference between martial arts, because the Asian culture, there's Japanese martial arts, there's Chinese, there's a bunch of different types of martial arts, and I really do like how they show that. My one complaint, I think the MMA scenes are kind of stupid.
The fighting in the cage?
Yeah, it just feels like I'm watching like a B movie. Like, it just really feels kind of like it's really cheesy and kind of stupid. I understand why they have her doing it, because
they want to portray that she's a fighter.
Yeah.
And that's an easy way to do it with causing like a morality, fighting is wrong, but I'm still doing it too.
It just feels, I don't know if it's the way the cinematography or what, but it just feels.
Yeah, the fight scenes are not as good as in Daredevil. Yeah. Daredevil, it was more linear, like that hallway fights.
Yeah.
Like with let's go to season 1. That first thing, that hallway fight, that's like one stop motion, was incredible. Also with Punisher, with that fight in the jail scene.
Jail fight scene is the best.
I'm not sure it's because the actors can't do it. And
I think Iron Fist, his fight scene in the hotel with the Yakuza, with the axes, that was pretty neat. Where then finally he just gets pissed off and he has his hand glow and he punches the axe and it explodes.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's a good show. I mean, we trying to this episode's trying to be being pretty light. We're not diving too much into it.
They said that right after this came out, a lot of the actors of the show, I believe that Punisher is coming out this summer, and then of course in September will be the Defenders. But they did have a short. It's not really a trailer, but like a short teaser come out for Punisher the same week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you think the Defenders are gonna? How do you think everything is gonna join? Do you think they're gonna join in the Punisher?
I think
they're gonna join in the first episodes of the Defenders.
Well, I definitely can foresee Daredevil showing up in Punisher, because they were in Daredevil together, but I don't know. I really think it's going to come down to. I think in Defenders, like in the first couple episodes, Claire is going to be like, "Oh, I know this person," because there's a reason why she's in all of these shows. She's going to bring all these people together, which is ironic because she's in there, and he has her leave the room when they're eating dinner to talk about the Hand when she was in the hospital that got attacked by the Hand in the first season.
I
First and second.
got my own theory on how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
My theory is Daredevil is gonna represent Danny Rand in a lawyer, as a lawyer or some sort of way, with or against Danny Rand, but they're gonna be in trial. Daredevil's gonna hire Jessica Jones as private detective, and that's how Luke Cage gets into question, because Jessica Jones and Luke Cage had that fling.
Yeah, but then it does show that, I know they released a little preview during Comic-Con where Stick is going to train all of them.
Yeah, I think they're gonna they're gonna try to fight the Hand. If the Hand is not defeated in this and what the few episodes left, but I feel they're gonna fight the Hand. And typical good old movie, they get their ass kicks, go to the mentor train zone, they fight, and they win.
I know this would never happen. This is obviously would never happen.
Well, that'd be a good question. That would be a good question. Is what would you want to see?
I think it'd be cool. God, it'd be so fucking cool, man. It's like all of a sudden, like they're getting their asses kicked, and you just see, you see Spider-Man come in, or you see Tony and Spider-Man come in and help them out real quick. We know that would never happen, but that is some fucking solid fan fiction that would be so goddamn cool.
I would like to see, maybe not show them or helping them, but flying by.
Yeah, that would be neat. Or you could see Tony off in the distance flying, or even Spider-Man, like a silhouette.
My dream, even though I would like to see the Punisher and Spider-Man together.
That would be cool.
But I'll be fine if it's just a newspaper. Like, Spider-Man defeats Punisher. The Punisher, something...
Just like in Luke Cage, you know how he was walking by. He's like, "Hey, Luke, come over here, man. You want to see a video of Captain America?" I was like, even that, like, representing, I feel...
Because it's in the same universe. It's not like...
It is, but they're not talking about it as much, which really kind of...
Because I think nothing major happens, because in Civil War it was basically
against each other, yeah.
and there wasn't like a big show, but they do every time something big happens, like big worldwide, they do mention it. It's like, oh, you drop a city in somebody's head. Oh, the aliens are out there doing something.
It's probably really hard to do that also because they have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which really keeps up. Oh,
it's still in the same universe.
They have another Marvel show, the Inhumans show, that's coming out. That instead of a movie, they have
the new X-Men.
Yeah.
The gifted ones? Yeah, it is true.
So it'd be interesting to see. It's funny how that...
And Legion, although that's a different universe, but it's still a Marvel one. Yeah. And, you heard us all about, our latest episode, the one before here, this one, about Legion. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check it out.
Yeah. Also about Legion, stay tuned for our next episode to talk about Legion.
No, Legion has before this.
Yeah, stay tuned after this one. All right, well, Lewis,
go back to... Yes,
Lewis, you're an idiot. Delete all this.
Yeah, I said it. Go back and check on Legion.
All right, well, that's fair.
That's fair. And do you have any questions for me?
What's your... Out of these 4 shows, or these shows that have came out, what's your favorite?
I'm going to put it in order. Daredevil, Iron Fist by just the men, then Luke Cage super quick, and Jessica Jones last.
I would go Daredevil, Jessica Jones, solely because David Tennant fucking is the best villain out of all the... Well, him and Fisk are tied, but I am definitely second for sure because I love his part in there. He just plays such a great psychopath. And then I would do Iron Fist, Luke Cage.
I think it's fair. They all are good. It's just saying... I give them all like a good A or B's. So,
yeah.
They're in the A and B spectrum. They're way better than...
I think if I had to choose between powers out of all these people...
Jessica Jones. By far.
Yeah, because she can fly and she can...
She's strong as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Iron Fist is really cool, though, too, because he has, like, a super fucking human hand that he
But you can still snipe him from a distance and kill him.
Yeah.
Without even knowing. Like, gunk that.
Luke Cage is cool, but it just seems... he has super strength and he's impervious, which...
I like Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
fuck Daredevil.
No, I don't want to be
without
blind.
being blind. No, if it's no, I just liked Jessica Jones has almost the same thing as Luke Cage
Yeah.
with the ability of, super jumping. I guess in the show, I don't think she's flying quite yet.
No, she tried.
Mm.
She can fall.
That is true.
Punisher has no powers. He's just a mercenary, basically.
Yeah, some people say that he could have powers just because he's so good at every single weapon and hand-to-hand combat, but
I would definitely... Would you take him versus Hawkeye? I think he would win. Hawkeye's pretty good, though.
Yeah, they will be pretty tied up. Both of them will be pretty tied up. I think don't know if they ever fought in the comic to tell you who's technically stronger, but both of them have to train every single day to the max, and if they don't do that, they, in the world of superpowers, they're useless. So unless
obsolete.
Unless they train. But
right.
Anything in the Daily Bugle that you know of?
No, just we talked about the Inhumans show that's going to be coming out. They just started filming
the Inhuman show. Then
I don't think that they really.
Ghost in the Shell comes up pretty soon.
Power Rangers comes out.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, check us out on Two Ordinary Nerds on YouTube,
Twitter, and send us. You can email us at twordinarynerds@gmail.com.
iTunes,
And just remember to follow us.
Facebook. Cheers.